I want to talk about nepotism babies. It's been trending recently online about how this particular actress who was born from famous actor and actresses is upset that nobody is seeing her talent or worth because of her parents. And a lot of throughout the years and decades, nepotism babies have come out and been upset about people thinking they get their lives work, they get their jobs, they get everything they get because of their parents. And I kind of want to speak on it because coming from a person that has no connections to the industry, coming from a person that literally lives in a small town, in a unknown, forgotten state, trying to, I guess, say, get into the industry, get my name heard, become something. The way we artists feel, the way we creators feel about quote unquote nepotism babies is not, we're not saying you're not talented. We're not saying that there's something wrong with your work. We're saying is, what we're saying is you have the opportunity to get a job, to be in a movie, to have a book, to have a successful career way easier than it might come from somebody that might be impoverished, that might have nothing, that might have no connections. And the way this argument has been going back and forth on Twitter between these actors and fans about how their work is great and how their work is valid and how it didn't come from their parents. This is how we know nepotism is a thing. I don't know if you guys ever seen the TV show Generation on HBO Max. It got canceled after one season, but it was an amazing show. Like, I watched it from beginning to end. I genuinely liked the show. And usually for me, like, if I like a product, like, after it, I go search for the cast members, I go search for the directors, who screen wrote, who's the executive producers, the producers, like everybody that's behind scenes, because that's what I'm interested in. And I want to know the people that are creating these masterpieces that I enjoy. And so when I searched up Generation, there were like 35 articles about how the screenwriter and the creator of the show was 20 years old. And I thought that was extremely interesting. Like, what do you mean the person that created the show was 20? And then what happened? I read the article. She was 20 years old, and both of her dads are high executives in the movie and TV industry. So her dad helped her write the script to Generation, and then they used their power to get her show on HBO Max. If you don't know anything about HBO Max, though, that is one of the top streaming services you can get your work on. Netflix, HBO Max, Hulu, Paramount, stuff like that. Those are like the top ones you want your work of art on. And for her to be 20 years old and to already have her first piece of work of art in HBO Max, that is nepotism. Another example, John David Washington. Denzel Washington's son. When he first came out, of course, his last name is Washington. When he first came out, he admitted that when he would go do auditions, when he would go and do script reads, people would ask, "Are you Denzel Washington's son? Are you, you look like him, you have his name, da da da." And he would say that his dad was in jail. He didn't know his dad. His dad left because he wanted to build on his own. So coming from his perspective, he knew the moment he said, "Yeah, I'm Denzel Washington's son," he was going to get every script, every movie, every TV show he ever put his hands on after that. But he wanted his light to shine. And the sad thing about it is John David Washington is an amazing actor. He's an amazing person, But now that it's out that he's Denzel Washington's son, everybody and their auntie, when they go see a movie with him, he's always, for the rest of his life, is going to be labeled as Denzel Washington's son. It doesn't take away from his art. It doesn't take away from his acting at all. But that's all he will ever be known as, is Denzel Washington's son. And that is what we creatives and artists are trying to tell, quote unquote, nepotism babies, is that we don't have that. Like, if you wanted to, you can drop your dad or your mom's name and be in the room. If you wanted to, you can be the next top selling author or podcaster or actor and actresses. You can be in the rooms of Oscars and Grammys and Emmys and Tony Awards if you wanted to. But we don't have that privilege. Like, I know a lot of nepotism babies that are fucking talented. Like, they're amazing at what they do. Look at Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith kids, Willow and Jaden and Trey. They're all amazing artists. Willow is killing it. She's like top one in how many countries? And Jaden has his water company and restaurant, and he does music. And Trey is a producer and he's a DJ. He's doing amazing things, and their work is actually good. But of course they got where they were at because they were Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith's sons and daughters. Like, for a lot of us that are down here and working 50 hours a day and then trying to come home to write and to create our art, to create our music, we don't have that privilege sometimes of just already being in the door. Just being able to wake up and just create, And a lot of us that work hard, that are trying to be seen, we're probably never going to be in a situation where our work will ever be heard. And I know it must be frustrating to be in such a limelight and you're trying to make a path for yourself and you're overshadowed by your parents or you're overshadowed by your family members. But at the end of the day, you're in the place where all of us genuinely want to be. And that's all we're trying to relay when it comes to us underground people talking to the industry people, is that you're there. And you think that because we're saying that you're there, we're diminishing your work, we're diminishing your talent, and it's not that. It's okay to be the children of icons. It's okay to be the children of people that have worked their asses off to get to the industry, so that when they had you could just walk in the door. I saw an amazing tweet that somebody said, you gotta realize these parents of these nepotism babies aren't doing anything less that a regular civilian parent would do. Parents are supposed to want to make children's lives easier. And of course, if they can get you in a room with executive producers and, the top businessmen, people of the world, they're going to do that. They have the resources. You just have to notice your privilege. You just have to notice what you have. And that's what makes us so angry, is that y'all purposely do not try to notice what you have. You have the keys to success at your fingertips. While a lot of us spend our entire lives trying to learn what success is, learn how to keep it, learn how to work with it. While you can go to daddy, you can go to mommy and say, Mom, how do I make $1,000 or $1,000 or $100,000 in a day? And they will give you that answer. A lot of us don't have that privilege. And it's okay with having privilege. That's what I'm trying to say, is it's okay to have privilege. But don't sit there and act like you don't have it. And don't sit there and act like it's not around you when it is. That has nothing to do with your talent. That has nothing to do with the works of art you put out. If you privilege, you're privileged. It is what it is. But don't sit there and be like, oh, I got it from the dirt and I didn't do anything and I didn't have it. Like, what? And let me make it clear. I know there are some famous people that have come out in interviews and said that they absolutely do not help their kids and they don't provide them any money, financially, or they don't provide them any support anyway. I do, we all know those actors that do not help those kids in that way. But also, to be honest, I feel like in a way you're still privileged, because even if they don't help you, even though they don't give you the money, you could still probably walk into the room and say, hey, I'm so-and-so's son. I'm so-and-so's daughter. And they will most likely give you a chance. It's not always the resources they can give you, but sometimes it's just having the name of your father or a mother. Sometimes it's just having the last name of that person that will get you in the door. Like, I've known many people that aren't even related to rich people and be like, hey, I'm related to them in somehow. And they've got it in the door to places because they said they were related to them. Like, we just don't have that. So it's like, don't feel attacked because we're pointing out the reality for you guys. You have privilege. You have the privilege of getting a multi-million-dollar movie. You have the privilege of becoming a #1 artist, whether if you're good or not. And because we say that, don't get all butt hurt. Like I said, it just is what it is. But for us down here, it's hard. It's fucking hard, and it's kind of degrading when we work day after day after day, week after week after week, years. We work years to get a pinky toe in the door. And then you say some bullshit like that online, that shit hurts. So we're going to attack. We're going to pour our heart out. We're going to get emotional because it hurts. When you've poured in hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars just in marketing, just to try to get somewhere, just to be seen, and get no progress, get no success out of it. And then you have a multi-million-dollar baby saying, oh, I'm not privilege, I'm not nepotism. That shit hurts. So we're just really asking you guys just to watch what you say, watch how you approach things, because it comes off as tone deaf. It comes off as if you don't care, if you're not listening. We're just saying that, hey, if you wanted to, you could be great. That's all. There's so many of us that pray to be great, that pray that we'll be in the room one day, and statistically we'll probably never be in that fucking room. So for you to even be able to walk in there with producers and lawyers and businessmen and sit down and just to be able to listen to the conversation, that's a blessing, bro. So act like, if you're a nepotism baby, act like it. Act like you know what you have. And stop disrespecting and getting butthurt about the people that don't have shit that you have. Like, that's crazy to me. And even though you have all these resources and you have all these privileges to get into these rooms and to do these amazing things, you guys don't ever come down and help us normal civilians to get to where you are. It's always, oh, I'm going to use every resource I'm giving and then go on social media and act like I don't have these resources, but I'm still going to use them and not help anybody that can't even come in contact with the resources that I have. That's annoying. Like, I know we're not obligated to do anything for anybody else, but it would be nice if you truly feel that way about your parents to maybe come get some of us from off the ground and take us up there with you, if you truly feel that way as a nepotism baby. But it seemed like what y'all bring is fake outrage. Because at the end of the day, y'all know the privileges y'all have. Y'all know the rooms y'all can get into. And y'all just say that because y'all don't want to come off as this like spoon bred baby, but you're a spoon bred baby. If you lived in an affluent life, then that's your life. Like, but don't act like you're trying to be out here and help us to get there. You're not. Don't act like you're trying to raise us from the bottom, because you don't give a fuck about us. And so when we start talking about y'all all of a sudden fake outraged about it. Like, come on now, stop it.